There's a special kind of devastation that comes from getting exactly what you wanted. Not failure, not bad luck, not circumstances beyond your control, but succeeding, winning, achieving every single goal you set for yourself, and then realizing that the finish line you've been sprinting toward for 20 years was the wrong destination entirely. Today, I want to tell you about David, age 42, Stanford MBA, VP at a Fortune 500 company, beautiful home, healthy kids, everything checked off the list. Everything except the one thing that was supposed to come automatically once you checked off everything else. And I want you to ask yourself, are you making the same mistake he did? Are you running toward a finish line that won't give you what you actually need? David made his plan when he was 17. It wasn't complicated, it was actually quite clear. He wrote it down in a journal his grandmother gave him. Goals for a successful life. Get into a top university, land a six-figure job by 30, make partner or VP by 40, own a home in a good neighborhood, marry someone accomplished and kind, have 2 kids, build a retirement fund of at least $2 million, be respected in his field. You know what's not on that list? Be happy. Because David, like most of us, assumed that happiness was what happened after you achieved all those things. Happiness was the reward, the natural byproduct, the thing you earned by doing everything right. So he followed the plan perfectly. He got into Stanford, he pulled all-nighters, graduated with honors, networked aggressively. He landed a consulting job at 23. Not 6 figures yet, but the trajectory was clear. He met Rebecca at a work conference. She was smart, ambitious, beautiful. They dated for 2 years, got married at 29. Everyone said they were the perfect couple. He switched companies twice, climbing faster each time. The house came at 35, 4 bedrooms, good school district, the works. VP at 39, ahead of schedule. 2 kids, Emma and Jake, healthy, smart, well-adjusted, portfolio growing, retirement on track. Respected? His LinkedIn had 3,000 connections. People asked him for advice. By 42, David had done it. Everything on the list. Checked. Completed. Achieved. And that's when the panic attack started. It started small. Waking up at 3 a.m. with his heart racing for no reason. A tightness in his chest during his morning commute. A feeling he couldn't quite name, like he was forgetting something important, but he couldn't remember what. His doctor said it was stress. Prescribed medication. You're doing too much. You need to slow down. But here's the thing. David couldn't slow down, because slowing down meant thinking, and thinking meant confronting a question he'd been avoiding for 2 decades. Why am I doing this? See, when you're chasing goals, you don't have to ask that question. The goal is the answer. Why are you working 70 hours a week? Because I need to make VP. Why do you need to make VP? Because that's the plan. But when you achieve the goal, when there's no next rung on the ladder you've been climbing, suddenly you're standing there and that question comes roaring back. Why did I want this in the first place? David couldn't answer it. He looked around his life, the life he'd built, the life he'd earned, and he felt nothing. Not misery exactly, not depression in the clinical sense, just emptiness, like he was going through the motions of someone else's life. Sunday mornings, he'd sit in his beautiful kitchen, drinking expensive coffee, and feel like he was waiting for the satisfaction to arrive, waiting to feel the way he was supposed to feel when you've won. But it never came. So what happened? How do you achieve everything and still feel empty? Here's what nobody tells you about goals. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. David said yes to career advancement, which meant saying no to his photography hobby, the thing he actually loved, that made him lose track of time, that made him feel alive. "I'll get back to it later," he'd say. Later never came. He said yes to the prestigious job, which meant saying no to being present at home, missing bedtimes, missing school plays, being physically there but mentally somewhere else, running through tomorrow's presentation while his daughter told him about her day. He said yes to living in the right neighborhood, which meant saying no to the quirky, walkable city where he and Rebecca fell in love, trading spontaneous coffee shops and street musicians for HOA meetings and 2-hour commutes. He said yes to surrounding himself with successful people, which meant saying no to his college friends, the ones who became teachers and social workers and artists, the ones who didn't optimize their lives for income, but somehow seemed lighter, freer. He said yes to security, which meant saying no to risk, adventure, spontaneity. No to the startup his friend wanted him to join. No to the year abroad Rebecca suggested. No to anything that might jeopardize the plan. And here's the cruelest part. Society applauded every single one of those choices. When David chose career over creativity, people said, "That's mature." When he chose income over location, people said, "That's responsible." When he chose networking over friendship, people said, "That's strategic." Everyone congratulated him for making the smart choices, the grown-up choices. Nobody mentioned what he was losing. One night, Rebecca asked him a question that broke something open. "When was the last time you did something just because it made you happy?" David opened his mouth to answer, and nothing came out. He cycled through his recent weeks: work presentations, client dinners, kids' soccer games, which he enjoyed, sure, but was that his happiness or just parental obligation? The gym, but that was for health metrics. Scrolling his phone before bed, but that wasn't happiness, that was just numbing. "I don't know," he finally said. And Rebecca, with tears in her eyes, said, "Me neither, for either of us." That's when David realized he hadn't just sacrificed his happiness for the plan, he'd sacrificed their happiness. His kids were growing up with a father who was physically present but emotionally absent, who had achieved everything but radiated nothing that made achievement seem worth it. He'd built a prison out of accomplishments. Every goal he'd reached was another bar on the cage. And the worst part? The door was never locked. He could have walked out any time. But he didn't, because he was so busy checking boxes that he never stopped to ask, "What am I building? And who am I building it for?" The answer, he realized, was terrifying. He was building a life that looked impressive from the outside, a life that would look good in a eulogy, a life that would make his LinkedIn followers envious, but he wasn't building a life that felt good to live. David is 42 now, still has the same job, same house, same family. But something has changed. He's picking up his camera again, not because it advances his career, not because it's productive, just because when he holds it, something inside him wakes up. He's blocking off Saturday mornings. No work, no email, just time. Sometimes he photographs, sometimes he just sits. Sometimes he does nothing at all, and that's okay. He's having actual conversations with Rebecca, not about schedules or logistics or what needs to get done, about dreams, about fears, about the life they thought they were building versus the life they actually want. He's teaching his kids something he wished someone had taught him, that success isn't the same as achievement, that a life that looks impressive on paper can feel empty in reality, that it's okay, more than okay, essential, to want things that don't fit on a resume. Is he happy now? He says he doesn't know yet, but he's asking different questions than he was a year ago. And maybe that's where happiness begins, not in the achieving, but in the asking. David's story isn't unique, it's everywhere.
It's in every person who climbed the ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. It's in every achievement that came with a price tag nobody mentioned up front. It's in every checklist that promised fulfillment and delivered something else. It's about following a script written by people who don't have to live your life. A script that says, do these things in this order and you'll be happy. Graduate, get the job, buy the house, climb the ladder, secure the future. But what if the script is wrong? Not because those things are bad, but because they might not be what you actually need. What if happiness doesn't come from achievement at all? What if it comes from something else entirely? Something that can't be measured or compared. Something that exists in the space between the checkboxes. David learned his lesson at 42, after 25 years of running toward the wrong destination. So here's the question I want to leave you with. When was the last time you did something just because it made you happy?